Alright, we're in an area where there's lots of cottonwoods and poplars, pine trees, there's some birch. We got fir, everything, but we're looking for black morels right now. And I found this when I was walking my machine through here. This is just a piece of land on my property, and I had found morels here in the past, so we came out here looking for the black morel. It's about the first mushroom that's choice that comes in the spring, and this is where you'll find them. This is an older one. It's been chewed on by bugs already. These are some younger ones. I like them right like that before the bugs can really get at them. And really, you can soak them in salt water or brush them off and dry them to try to get any little bugs that are in there out. But we just carefully move around. When we come in, it's harder to do it one-handed. And we cut them off. So we don't pull them out because we want to leave that in the ground. And with most mushrooms, that if you leave this part in the ground, there's enough of, I think it's called mycelium, but there's enough of the root of the mushroom in the ground that it'll allow more mushrooms to grow, and then the spores will come out and get into the ground as well. But we like to cut them off, so if there's any bugs inside that hollow piece or under the veil or in the cracks, they can just come out. They can fall out if there's like maybe a little worm or something in there, which there quite often is in mushrooms. But if you were to twist it or pinch it off or twist it off, it often seals that up, and any bugs that got inside can't get out. So we'll keep looking around. I picked a couple pounds out of this patch just 3 days ago, and then I picked about 5 more pounds up the hill on the same road, but a few hundred meters from here. But yeah, we got one over there. They're kind of hard to spot, but when you do start getting the eye for them, you'll see them. This one's been chewed on a bit by bugs, but it's still a young one. See if we get this camera to focus. It doesn't look too badly chewed up. So you'll often find a little slug or a snail on them. And you just pick those off. There's the older one there. Maybe I'll take that older one and open it up and just leave it there for the spores to fall out. Maybe you can see what kind of bugs are in these. I don't see really any bugs in this one, but you can see the wormholes. So if we break it up a bit, I don't know, don't really see any worms in here. There's holes, so there had to have been bugs on it. But you soak them in salt water. I soaked a bunch overnight last night, and at the bottom of the bowl, you know, out of 5 pounds of mushrooms, there might have been 10 or 20 worms. And it seems, you can tell on the outside the ones that have been chewed on. So if you're picky about the ones you pick right off the bat, you can cut the amount of worms that you have down. But when you cook the mushrooms, you have to cook them. You can't eat them raw. You're gonna kill them anyways. It's gonna get rid of whatever is wrong with them. You know, you're not gonna be eating worms. It'll just be a little extra protein or something. But if you dry them, I hear mushroom pickers I've met, they like to use a mesh bag often, and as they dry a little bit while they're walking, they'll bugs will just sort of bail out. and a lot of them will just fall through the mesh and you'll never even see them. So for the sake of efficiency and starting the drying process early, that could be the way to go. An old onion bag would work really well. I just couldn't find one, so we're using a colander today. But I may have already picked this patch pretty well clean. I got a couple of kids out here today trying to help me find them, and they've probably spotted half of them, which is helpful. We may have already picked this part clean. We've got a couple on here for camera, and maybe we'll go and see if I find some other spots. We'll find some more. I know there's some more up the road, so until then, we'll keep looking. Found a few more just up the road. These ones are getting a little older. They're going to be a lot more wormy. Where'd that other one go? They're so hard to see. So we're going to leave these ones. I worked in silviculture the last few years, and we find a lot of these in the old slash piles where the burns were. You find some real nice morels in those. So that's another place a person can look. You get up into the mountains, you could always go and check out where they burned the slash the previous fall in the early winter. You can get a few in there. But we'll just let these ones continue to drop their spores since they're not in very good shape. And then we'll have opportunity to come back next year. Early spring, first mushrooms that are worth picking around here. So we're in British Columbia. I
found one under a tree.
Oh, you did? Oh yeah. There's two more underneath this tree here.
Oh, I didn't notice that one. That was the one I found.
But they're getting dried out. They're older. So we'll leave them. But we're about 50th parallel in British Columbia. Around 800 meters above sea level. This is the end of April 2016. Our snow came off about 3 weeks earlier than usual, so this might be a little early for finding them. But we were already a week late on these ones. They're pretty dried up. You just keep seeing them. These things would have been a lot bigger, but they've been attacked by bugs a bit and they've dried up. So, you know, although it's a good patch and we're going to come back next year for sure, we're just going to leave these ones. I've already found a bunch that have been picked and then have been laid out on logs by squirrels, and the squirrels need some of this too. And the deer will eat it, and the bears, I've seen deer spots where the deers have scratched it right up to not only eat the tops, but they'll get right down there and eat every little bit they can find. And
I found another one.
Another one. Oh, that's a good one too. Maybe we'll pick that one. The dog seems to like it as well. That the squirrels, they'll actually put them out on logs and they dry them out, and then they'll store them in their little caches. Yeah, these ones look like they might be alright.
I didn't notice the one.
I can hear Mother down the hill yelling for us. That one looks pretty good. Now let's go back in to see what your mother wants. We've got plenty of mushrooms.
There's another one.
Okay. Well, until another video comes up, that shall be it, I think.